So today's video we have the SL7 Tarmac. I'm going to do a weigh-in, and we've got the Winspace SLC. We've got some good thumbnail game here. Let's get into the video. Here we've got the Winspace. It's all just been unboxed and stuff. We've got the SLX Tarmac SL7. What we're going to do is we're going to weigh them all up. You know, we know these frames are like identical, almost identical weights. They're both 56 centimeter. We're going to put all the parts on there, not the group set wheels, but just like the fork and the bearings, etc., and then seat posts. We're going to weigh them, which is lighter. Actually, while they're upside down, let's do a little quick test. This is a little stiffness test you can do with your bike, and you can. So it's got a wheel on it. It's got a support in there, so you can sort of. That's pretty stiff. You know, that's very, very stiff. And then we've got the SL7. That's definitely very flexy, and you can sort of see those skinny stays. There's like a pivot point right here, so lateral flex, especially this one here. You sort of see they're asymmetric, just to save weight, but you lose flex, and that's where the SL7S works. If you ever ride one, they're quite flexy, and you can sort of see that in my hands there. You know, look at that. I'm getting like look at that. So that's the marker there. Look how much it flexes over. Push to the left. And then we compare it to the Winspace, which has got asymmetric as well, but probably a bit more beef, a bit more of a. So it's just, you know, it's definitely stiffer. We've got this bit less movement, you know. Because you got the through axle in there, it makes it stiffer. The through axles don't increase stiffness. There's a guy on YouTube makes some great videos, Peak Torque. I'll link it in the description text. Or the comments. Peak Torque talks about how through axles don't make it stiffer, and even if obviously you're going to put axles through there, put a wheel through there, but the flex all through here, that's what you feel when you're sprinting it. You know, 4 or 5 watts. That feels really nice. The paint's amazing, isn't it? Beautiful paint. Best thing about it. But yeah, it's very flexy. I know because I've got one over here, another SL7. So I'm talking about personal experience here. There's that finish quality there. Yeah, it's alright. But yeah, it's flexy, very flexy. In my opinion, I don't believe the pros use stock frames. I think they're getting a special layout. I think they're getting much stiffer rear end. Now that's Specialized aren't the only brand who does that. Cannondale, Trek, etc., Giant often make up special batches for their pro riders for stiffness, etc. But yeah, anyway, that's enough yapping, and let's put some parts on these and weigh them up in the scales of truth. We've got a first Junior. Hey. This cat loves it. Oh, you little flesh. There's a board in there. We have an first issue here. Where's that? Here it is. This headset feels so cheap. This is the S-Works headset that comes with it. Got pussy all over in this house. Can't eat that, buddy. And it feels so cheap. It feels so flimsy because of it's so proprietary bearing. It feels like it just feels so cheap. This is going to wear out real quickly, in my opinion, which is sort of sad because it's sort of throwaway stuff. But then, you know, obviously to do headset service, you have to because all the cables go through here. You know, they go through there. They go through the internal steerer, and they come out down the bottom here for that hole. So you also got to check your cables now and then, make sure they're not getting cut, because if your front brake hydro cable goes air bubble, then you lose your brakes. So this is a really bad design. I'm really disappointed. Such a beautiful bike, amazing paint, and they put this shit in there. It's just really just like, ugh, what's going on? And this is the real killer. All right, this is a real killer. If you get an SL7, make sure, in my opinion, you put something around your cables, because this is going to wear into them. These little edges, they've got some full sharp edges there. I mean, it's been sanded down a bit, but there's still a sharp edge there. So maybe put a file in there or something like that, because this is going to rub up and down your cables, and it's going to cause, in my opinion, a brake fail at some point. Okay, it's going to cause an air bubble to go into your hydro line, and you're going to lose your brakes. Hopefully you don't lose your brakes in an important time. Hopefully you don't lose your brakes two at once, which is probably unlikely, but that's a really bad design. So I think put something through there, like some sort of hard plastic, or just something to protect your hydro lines, and inspect it regularly, which is a bit of a pain in the bum, because you don't have to. Why you have to do extra work on such an expensive bike? It's really stupid. Incredibly stupid. And this is why I'm just like, why would I even bother buying? Like, you know, like, it's just, this is so dumb. Whoever thought this was a good idea, you need to ride a bike, actually. This wasn't designed by a cyclist. This is designed by an engineer who doesn't ride a bike. And I thought, well, this is a good idea. I can just put cables through here and have a sharp edge in there and cause cable wear and brake failure. What a great idea. Anyway, let's put it up and we'll weigh it. Cool. You know, give where credit's due. That's cool. Like if you work in a bike shop or you just have like, you're not sure which is which, it's got the Tarmac on there. So that's really awesome. They just named it so you don't know, you know what part this is for. This is really good if you've got other, you know, working in a bike shop. So looks in here. It's, yeah, just looks like anything coming out of China. Pretty standard, stock standard. Beautiful paint. I love the paint. Well, cycling is art. This is very beautiful art. It's just not very functional art, that's all. Let's put the seat post in. Not a fan of, doesn't really sit very flush, does it? Look how cheap that looks. It doesn't sit very flush at all. Okay, for just, you know, look at that. It's, damn. These things slip as well. You know, these slip. Mine slipped and then they scratch it up. Just a bit of glue from the factory on there. And then you also get dirt down here. And maybe issues down the track, just wear and tear and slop. Then you have to tighten up more, and you're just cracking your frame or cracking your integrated seat posts. Integrated seat clamps. For me, are one of the dumbest things ever in cycling. It's just stupid. That's what I love about the Winspace. You know, it's just like standard collar, good to go. This is gonna cause you problems. My seat post has slipped down, and it's just dicky. It's just a hard angle. It's just you know, poor tolerances. Just kind of slipping, you know. And I'm a pretty light rider. I'm like only 80 kilos at the moment. And just feel like a 120 kilo barrister. You're gonna scratch your brand new bike. It's been a pain in the bum. Let's see if I can put that even more flush. Doesn't look right, does it? Not right. It's just sitting. You know, it just doesn't. It's a bit hard to see. Yeah, there you go. See that little lip there? On the right, just that little lip. Just, you know, just. Let's come to the fact, a little chip there or whatever. Oh well. But yeah, it just doesn't sit flush. Yeah, look at that. It looks, you know, for a frame that's that expensive, the finish is pretty average. Specialized wouldn't use that. Look at the gaps here. Like over here is different to over here. There's a big little hole there. Little spider can wave its leg through that. You know, skinny spider on the left and a little fat spider can put its bum through there. It was Specialized wouldn't use this in their marketing photos, would they? Damn. I mean, I'm just being picky, but, you know, look at the expense these bikes cost. It's crazy. Look at the gap here. All the dirt and rain and grit. You know, if you're racing with this bike in the wet, you know, it was dirt in here from the road spray. And we know what a hassle this is. All your cables going through there and stuff. It's just a nightmare. Look at that gap. Oh, durianrider, you built it wrong. Did I? I didn't build this bike. This is not SL7. This is the cables coming out. Look at that gap, though. Okay. Look at that gap. Let's compare it to the Winspace. That's proper. Can't even see the bearings, can you? There's a seal there. That's how it should be. That's Winspace quality. Winspace quality. These cables. This is the cable guides here. Oh yeah, nice. Just little finishing touches that are important. Look at that, you know. That's how it should be done. That's quality. That's quality. Look at that. All the dirt in there. In the words of Gordon Ramsay, Specialized. What the F are you doing? What the F are you thinking, man? That's crazy, isn't it? Crazy. Beautiful paint, though. Beautiful paint. Love the polish. Silver looks great. So now we know that Specialized, just because it says S-Works, it might look hot, but there's junk, you know? Look at that. Look at that. First up, we've got the Winspace. I'm going to balance this on here. It's around 1680 grams. Next up is the SL7 S-Works Tarmac. So around 1740. How much is the Winspace?
1680.
Yep, it's 60 grams heavier, SL7. So, what group set should we put on this bad boys? Sorry, the Winspace, I should say. We've got DI2, Dura Ace, we've got SRAM Red. What should we put on this bad boy? What should we put? We've got absolute black stuff on there, some rings on there. It's got Thompson Masterpiece so far. The stock post is actually pretty light. Where is that stock post gone? It's actually pretty light. It's about the same weight as the SL7 post. But the issue is, again, you just got to add in there, so you've got to add extra weight in there. The problem with the SL7 is that, I prefer zero offset or even more forward, and to do that, you got to buy a whole new post, which is in Australia like $300-400 or whatever, and you got to wait for shipping and all that faffing around. So with this Thompson post or whatever, and the Winspace stock, and you just run carbon rail saddle in there, whatever. With this one, it's carbon rail friendly. But if you want an alloy, you got to put in new clamps. It's just a lot of faffing around. So you got slipping seat post, and what you got? Just common sense, pragmatic, lighter. This is the lighter setup, easier to service. You can fine tune your position better if you bike fit. Bike fit's crucial. What happens if you get a bike fit one of these, and the guy's like, the bike fit is like, oh, no, sorry, mate, you gotta get a zero offset. Well, you gotta do another appointment. You know what I mean? So much faffing around. This one here, every bike shop's got 27.2. Every bike shop's got that. So just, you always factor that in mind. If you want the best bike fit, go with 27.2, standard clamp, and you can get a bike fit dialed in, and a stem that's easier to adjust, etc. SL7, nightmare. This is a fashion bike, Instagram bike, beautiful paint. But this is performance better, stiffer, lighter, easier to work with, and far cheaper. The money I've saved on this bike, you could say you could go to Thailand, buy one of these, build it up, go to Thailand for a year, and you still would have money left over. Versus if you bought this, stay at home with a nagging wife and kids, ditch your wife and kids, get a Winspace, and go to Thailand or Xiamen. And if you fancy yourself a Winspace SLC or any Winspace product, use the code durianrider10 for 10% off. Thanks to Winspace for offering that. I get a cut from that. It's a win-win. If you want discount a specialised bike, I probably can't help you, but 8,700 AUD for the frame set. Incredible. You can charge what you want. I just think it's a bit of a joke, the prices these days on some of the latest bikes. Personally, I think it's a bit of a joke, especially if the ride quality isn't as good as it was even 5 years ago, 10 years ago even. I'm not a fan of product that goes downhill in performance, and I ride all the brands. I love specialized product. I've been a specialized customer since 1994, so that's like, how many years is that? Like 27 years I've been a specialized customer. So a huge fan of some of the product they've released. It's just these latest bikes, man, are just, in my opinion, in my experience, poor quality, and they just don't match the brand for what I'm used to. So it's disappointing. The tires, though, Specialized sells some fantastic tires. Specialized sells some fantastic helmets. Specialized sell incredible saddles. Huge fan of Specialized saddles. But their bikes, their cross-country race bike, dual suspension, Epic, is junk. The Tarmac is junk. The Roubaix is junk in terms of the latest models. And the LA rim brake, still kicking ass. But yeah, otherwise, just give my 100% non-biased opinion there. I sell what I would ride myself, and I endorse what I ride myself. I'm not a hater of Specialized product. Yeah, people say, they took your Instagram account down. You got a malicious intent against. No. I mean, that sucked, but that's dealing with corporations, But I'm a genuine cycling fan, and I like to see people get the best product at the best price and have a fantastic cycling experience. So they want to go out there again. These hookless rims, these rubbing rotor disc brakes, these stupid cable cutting headset guides, it's just slipping seat pros, some proprietary this and proprietary that. I'm just not a fan, personally. Not a fan. Anyway, that's the rant, that's the rave. Let us know down below what more you want to see in this SLC bike, what tests, etc., and we'll smash it out. I appreciate the support, gang. See you on the road. And at the end of the day, whatever bike you're riding is better than no bike, alright? If you went for a ride today, that's what matters.